Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. The subject that I'm going to discuss with you today is a subject that I have no proof on. Nobody has proof on that. But the subject that I'm going to talk to you today is a subject I believe and a lot of people believe, and I think even you believe exists. I am talking about money for transferring an officer. Money charged by politicians, ministers to transfer officers. This is what I'm going to talk about. Okay. In Maharashtra, there is a minister, home minister, who is behind bars, and one of the charges that has been alleged on him is the fact that he asked for money for transfers. Now, you know what happens? What happens is a lot of us, we don't care. In fact, a lot of y'all still would be not too keen on the subject that I'm going to talk to you about. Because theek hai, hota hai, transfer hota hai, officers get transferred. You see, today, what I'm going to talk to you about is how does these transfers directly affect you? That's my topic for today. Let's get right into the show. Like I told you, a lot of things that I'm going to talk about, I have no proof on. These are talks that senior bureaucrats, senior IAS, IPS officers, people who have been in the government, politicians too, they all talk about it. And why? Even general public talk about it. It is not that general public are not aware of this. And that is transfers, taking money. They say that this transfer business, by taking money and transferring you into a very powerful or very prominent post, it starts anything. The range is from 75 lakhs, anything to 50 crores. There are stories that some positions, people even pay 100 crores. That's the kind of bribe that officers, especially top officers, that's the kind of bribe that is asked from them, and that is the kind of bribe they pay to politicians. Now, mind you, a rider, big rider, Baba, listen, it is not that every transfer is they take money and they transfer. That is definitely not correct. And it is not that every police officer or IAS officer or IPS officer or whichever officer that pay money and only then they get transferred. That is also not correct. And it is not correct either that every politician takes money for transfer. That is also not correct. So let this rider be very clear. But that being said, monies for transfers do exist. The problem number two is, see, when a police commissioner, for instance, pays this money to be a police commissioner to the politician, to the minister, do you think that police commissioner is going to pay it out of his family wealth and say, de lo yaar 50 crores yaar, family wealth, I just want to sit in a police commissioner's chair? He's not going to do that, right? What he's going to do, what he or she is going to do is they are going to make 500 crores for the 50 crores or 100 crores investment that they have done. They will make 10 times or maybe 100 times the kind of money that they have invested to become whatever, municipal commissioner, police commissioner, collector, whatever. They will take that kind of money. Ultimately, who pays for it? You pay for it. See, a general understanding is that a builder pays 20% of his project as bribe to these officers. 20% of the project. Like I spoke to you about the officers, the builder ne uske khud ke pocket se to dena nahi hai, right? The builder is ultimately going to charge you the money. So finally, who pays the bribe? You pay the bribe. Look at it. The officer pays the bribe to the mantri. The builder pays the bribe to the officer. You pay the bribe. You pay the money to the builder. So finally, the mantri gets the money. Who pays the money? You pay the money. And I'll tell you, I told you I'm going to talk about how it affects the middle class in this country. I'll tell you how it affects you. That dream house that you bought for 2 crores? The dream house that you bought for 2 crores and assuming that 20% of that cost has gone in bribe, then what you're talking about is you could have got that house for 1 crore 60 lakhs if that bribe wouldn't have been paid. You paid 40 lakhs more for that dream house of yours. You know, the hard earned 40 lakhs of yours being paid more. Possibly 5 years of your EMI would have been saved. 5 years. 5 years of your life would have been saved. That's how it affects you. So don't take this lightly. Do not take this lightly. Because every day, this is what affects you. This affects you maybe much more than most of the other problems that was brought in front of you in terms of somebody, black money and 15 lakhs will come to your bank. This is money taken away from your pocket. Forget about you getting money. This is money taken, somebody snatching that money away from your pocket. This is the problem. Okay. Now, another problem. Problem number 3. You see, good officers, there are a lot of good officers, and I've got a lot of friends of mine who are genuinely fabulous officers. These officers will not pay this bribe, nor will they go out of that behind that minister or outside his doorstep to ask him, sir, mera promotion kara do, sir, ya mera transfer kara do. These officers won't go. So what happens? They never get good postings, or they rarely get good posting. I will not say they never get good posting. They rarely get good posting. So what do you miss? You miss good officers that can administer the state, that can look after, service you for whatever they are doing, either they are in municipal authorities or police authorities or whatever. You miss those kind of officers. And you get those mediocre officers who are just there to snatch money out of you. That's the problem number 3. Problem number 4 is, chalo, luckily you get a good officer. Chalo, luckily you get a good officer. Clean, good officer. And believe me, I say this, when I say this, let me say the other side also. I know a lot of officers who are absolutely clean, squeaky clean. I know a lot of officers. So it is not that every officer, every government employee, every police officer and all are corrupt and all that. All that is myth. There are fantastic officers. There are clean officers too. So now you have a clean officer in your vicinity, in your police station or in your city. How can this clean officer manage his cops? Pehli baat to he doesn't have the right, he or she doesn't have the right to transfer the cops. The minister's transfer is. We have spoken about it for 1,000 times, so I'm not going to repeat it. The minister transfers. Okay, the minister gives promotion and so on and so forth. He doesn't have the right. So he cannot transfer a cop. Now the ministers have taken money from the cop for their transfers. How can he stop that cop from taking money from the common people? How can he stop corruption? So even if you have fabulous officers and a squeaky clean officers who are sitting in the top, he or she cannot ensure that their juniors don't take money, because what control do they have? So that's another huge problem. There is a solution. There is a solution. The way our PM one fine day came in the night at 8 o'clock and said, kal se 500 rupees sab band ho jayega, 500 rupees and 1000 rupees and all that band ho jayega, and bought that demonetization which caused so much ruckus. If that same seriousness is given by the Prime Minister, and I am telling you, this is not a BJP problem alone. When I spoke to you about Anil Deshmukh, he belongs to Mahavikas Aghadi. So please don't take it as a BJP problem or any particular problem. Every party has a problem here. So if the Prime Minister one fine day takes it to his heart and says that I will ensure that no matter which government, no matter which political party, including his own, if found taking money for transfer, I will ensure that that minister is put behind bars. No amount of political pressure or political compulsions can stop me. If he takes this decision at 8 o'clock, it will be a very difficult political proposition for him. But India can be cleansed. And this will not be like the demonetization. This will genuinely fetch results. This will genuinely fetch results. Of course, like I told you, demonetization was poor people. We had to suffer for it. Here, there will be a lot of political ramifications on this particular decision. So, well, it is not going to be very easy for any politician, including the Prime Minister, to take such decisions. But if genuinely one has to curb corruption from this country, this is the best way to curb corruption from this country. The last point I want to make in my editorial. You see, every time we blame Prime Minister, we blame Chief Minister, we blame that minister, we blame this minister, and you have to blame them also, because they are supposed to be running our country. In fact, I mean, it is not that you went to their house and begged of them to become the prime minister or the chief minister. They came to you begging for your votes, and that is how they became. So they wanted to become, and they've become. They wanted to serve you, so they've become what they have. So fine. All that is fine. But end of the day, you know that you just by blaming them, it's not going to help you. It's not going to solve your problem. The point that I wanted to make tonight is you can put an end to this. Please watch out for the officers that are serving you, whether he's a police officer, ward officer, police commissioner, municipal commissioner, collector, whoever these officers are, big, small, please follow their work. Please see how they're dealing with the community. You have the right to raise your voice, send letters to the chief ministers, send letters to press, talk to media, talk to press, go to the court if need be, if you find an officer who is in your ward, in your city, who you think is not doing the work that he or she is supposed to do. You have the right to raise your voice. And you know what happens? If 100 of you raise your voice, and if 100 of you go to court, and if there are 100 transfers that has been reversed and such officers are booked, chances are every chief minister, every politician will think 10 times to either take money for transfer or to even allow people to take money for transfer, because it's going to directly affect their ministry. It is going to directly affect their party. That's the way you can react. Believe me, I urge you, react to such people, react to such bureaucrats. Because if you don't react to such bureaucrats, you will also find bureaucrats. So he lives king size and he takes his dog for a walk and asks people to get out because his dog has to walk. You'll find all of these stories coming in. So don't get surprised by all this, and then you can't even complain, because end of the day, we allow it to happen. This is my story for tonight. I urge you, write to me. Write about this, about your experiences. Write about your point of view. Write down if you do not agree to me. Write. Make comments. Comment on this particular editorial. Let people view my editorial and also your comments, which is very important, because that's the best way to view a point of view, so that you have all kinds of inputs. You have all kinds of, some may agree to me, some may not agree to me. Please comment so that we have a full debate on this point of view that I just expressed to you before I end. As usual, please subscribe to us. Log on to www.hwnews.in and subscribe to our channel. Your money is very important for us to run our show. Your money is very important for us to run our office. So please subscribe to us. Please pay for our journalism. And will I see you next time? That is tomorrow at 10 p.m. Namaskar.